iron sharpens iron. In layman's terms, men help other men because we don't know everything, right? Your perspective ain't the only perspective. And many times your perspective ain't the correct perspective. You just doing what you know to do because we creatures of habit, right? You doing what you've been doing. You doing what you saw daddy do. You doing what you saw granddaddy do. You doing what you saw uncle do. And maybe all of those things work for them, but that does not necessarily mean it's going to work for your life.
What up? We are here again, and I caught my brothers off guard. They were sitting there talking about chicken and all types of stuff, man. Yes, y'all were some crazy stuff. I don't know what you were talking about. I'm just excited that we are back again with another episode of a Father's Heart podcast.
Yes, sir.
With your boys Shon and Cole.
What's up?
And George.
And George.
People.
George, you gotta take them glasses off, George. I saw the light.
I'm blinding. Okay, we're gonna take them off.
Yep, I saw the light.
It's the glass. It's the light, Caroline. It's the light.
So, Shon, how come your glasses don't show light? I don't understand.
Listen. I can if I was to do all of this. You know what I mean? But I set up. You know, I have my camera up here. I have a camera. I mean, I have my light in front of me. Have a light behind me. You know what I mean? I had a professional come in. So I'm just joking. I went to YouTube University, and they told me where to set the stuff at.
Cole, check this out. Cole, check this out. I want you. We probably could do a legit or not legit right now. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm a full rank. Is it legit that he went to YouTube University and we are his partners on this podcast and he didn't share that information? Is that legit or not legit that he didn't share that information? So you supposed to be looking goofy. Look at this, man. Look at that. You see all that reflection and stuff? And he wouldn't share that with his boys. Like, is that okay? Is it every man for himself? Is it every man for himself, or is we in this together? What's going on?
So, George,
James, read that. James know what I'm talking about.
James said, "What up, superstar?" What up, James?
Yeah.
Listen,
but look, Shon good though, because Shon was gonna come to my house. He was like, "Cole, your camera is jacked up. Your lighting is horrible. I'm coming to your house."
I didn't say all that. I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
I did not. What I said was,
I'm talking to Cole. Cole, what was his tone?
His tone was like, "You don't know what you're doing. You're gonna have us looking bad. So I'm gonna need to come to your house and get you together." That's what he said. Yeah.
Man,
y'all, I'm not listening to you. Like listen, we got a hot topic tonight. We have a hot. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just roll the tape. I'm not listening, y'all. I'm gonna roll the tape. I'm rolling the tape. I'm getting right to it. Let's see. Hopefully I can do this right.
What's up, y'all? We see y'all coming in. Appreciate y'all.
Oh,
Man,
I'm getting right to it. Hopefully I can get this.
We just getting right to it.
Yep, for real. I ain't messing around with you. I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller. Watch this video, guys. Help me out. Hold up. Hopefully you can see it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get my life right. Right, a little peekaboo.
Oh, it's a peekaboo.
Invested, we don't want this to be difficult. We're hoping she reciprocates, not makes it more challenging. What you'll notice is it's easier for men to chase lust than it is to chase love. Because when you love someone and they're not receptive to you, it hurts. When you're just lusting after the woman, all you're focused on is what you want to get from her. Which is why you'll see some women have men who were never serious about you but will chase you for years on end. Wow. Because they're just locked into, I want this. That's where the men are hunters kicks in. But once he's emotionally into you, he doesn't want all this resistance. That hurts too much. Most men are so happy to have a woman show him that she wants him, she has interest. He's gonna be receptive to that if he has interest as well.
Boom.
So we just gonna drop it like that, huh?
We just gonna drop it like that. So you saw the video. My man said, and we talked backstage about this topic a little bit, just a little bit, that one of the things that he said is that men love the chase, and I can agree with that. But something that really stood out, and I'm like, you know what? That might be real. And you guys can tell me, and Cole, you're going to lead this because you got those 5 common things that men struggle to deal with. And so, but I do want to start with what he said and get you guys' perspective is when he talked about chasing, and once he get this woman, he is satisfied. He is like excited about this whole chase more than everything else, right? So I'm hearing him talk about this chase versus being in a relationship where he's extremely satisfied. So my man started talking about a man wanting to be satisfied when a woman is reciprocating that same energy. So absolutely. I want you guys to speak to that chase and the reciprocating of that same energy, because women will say, yo, men are dogs, or all men are dogs, or what I experienced was this dude who was chasing me, and once he got me, there was no longer a chase. What up, Miss Karen?
I'll start. I truly believe it's an ego thing. You know what I'm saying? Our value, we talk about this a lot. It's father's heart, but it's also a manhood podcast, and our value from a young age is directly related to how we can conquer. You know what I'm saying? How we can accomplish, how we can do something, you know what I'm saying? And it's like a lot of times once the chase is over, or once we've conquered the land or what, not like that, the motivation is no longer there. You know what I'm saying? And so what the brother was saying, if the resistance and stuff is still there after we've conquered and different things like that, we're going to move on to the next chase. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying it's how we conditioned. I don't even know if it's more conditioning or if it's just innate. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we like to conquer things. We like to accomplish stuff. We like to get things done, to get our ego stroked, as well as to have whatever the result of the chase is. So I don't think Buddy was all the way off. And that's just my personal opinion. I think he was actually pretty accurate, you know? Because once we get that, well, I guess I'm saying that, but in that case, once you get the woman, when she starts reciprocating, that motivates you to do more. But if she's still resistant and stuff like that, that's like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? I can go do this over here or do that over there. Like, the chase is a thing for me, in my opinion.
You know what, Cole, I'm going to let you say yours. George, you made me think of something. I was talking to somebody earlier, right? And they are in a place right now where they are no longer with their significant other. Well, I just say they're no longer with the boy that they were dating.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the dude is pursuing them. Like, he's like, hey, I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. Like, hey, like, give me another shot. And I asked them, I was like, well, let me just answer this question. I'm like, why won't you give him another shot? And her response was, I really do, but I don't want to look stupid to my friends.
Yeah.
I don't want to look stupid to other people. And so I'm like, well, what is he saying and what is he doing? And she's like, you know, he was calling me a little bit more, trying to get me back, but now it's getting less and less frequent.
Yeah, it's the resistance. Yeah.
Right. And so I had to have that. What you laughing at, Cole?
I'm laughing because one of the things we don't talk about is the feelings of being rejected, period.
Absolutely.
Right? You know what I'm saying? We hate being rejected. We hate hearing the word no. And sometimes I realize, too, just the idea of getting rejected will prevent you from moving forward in anything. So the fear of rejection in itself is part of the issue, right? Because we're often socialized to always be winning, always be on top. If you're not winning, you're not on top, there's something wrong with you. But there's also a reward in being rejected and losing and not getting the trophy. That I think is really important to help set the stage for what life will look like in the real world. But we socialize boys to have this need to, you got to win. Your daddy told you got to win. You got to be, he out there rooting in the stands for you to win. So and everybody gets a trophy nowadays. And the truth of the matter is that is not how the world works. Absolutely. And oftentimes we do get rejected, and rejection hurts. And the last thing man wants to deal with is being rejected and being hurt. So that's my thought on all of it.
So my question to you is, I'm gonna throw this at George then, right?
What's all that, George?
I'm gonna throw this at you, George. So is it easier for women to, and I know you're not a woman, right? But I'm just saying, but you work with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me correct that, because last time I said that, I got in trouble from Cole. Like, oh, you mean I'm not a social worker? Well, y'all both work with a lot of people, but George, is it easier for women to deal with rejection versus men?
It's not easier for anybody to. It's more accepted for them to listen. Think about our locker room talk when we were, younger and stuff like that. How many times you went in or told your homeboy, I got her number, or she pulled up, or whatever the terminology was at the time. Now I had quite a few rejections, and I would never run into the homies to say, bro, she played me. Like I wasn't never running to the bros to say, man, she gave me a fake number. You know what I'm saying? Like it might come up later in the conversation, but that initial rush, you know what I'm saying, or high that you get from going with the fellas and saying, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying, I did that and stuff, different things like that, because you would have got clowned. You know what I'm saying? You would have got clowned, you got a roasted, stung, like blazed, or, whatever terminology you want to use. Whereas women, they get rejected. They girl, and I don't want to speak for women, but from what I know, they will be more consoling, more comforting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come here, girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Forget him, or, different things like that. They gonna hug them, let them cry it out. You know what I'm saying? And different things like that, where you go and tell your homeboy you got rejected, it's gonna be something totally different.
But this is my thing, right? I like that, but this is the reality. Well, let me just not the reality. Let me just say from my perspective, I think men get rejected more, right? And it may hurt because men are typically the ones that's pursuing women, and they trying to get numbers, and they getting so many no's. They getting so many rejected. Well, let me just talk about me. I got a lot of no's and rejections trying to get girls' numbers or trying to establish something.
Yeah.
Right? I got more no's than I got yeses. And so...
Oh, you weren't talking right, baby. Like, you weren't talking right then. What are we talking?
Hey, well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said me. You know what I mean? That's why I said me, not you, George. You got more yeses than no's.
No, it wasn't. It's because I risk assessed, right? Like, so for me, I was extremely shy, so I wasn't even finna say nothing unless a signal or a sign had been shown that there was a chance. Otherwise, I'm just gonna fall back. You know what I'm saying? So I played it safe. I was shy. I played it safe. Didn't have the best confidence and different things like that. So like, I had to hear something or know something that there was a chance for me to even, you know what I'm saying? Like, after time, like my confidence would build up after I started getting them yeses. Then I was out here, then it probably evened itself out. But at first, you know what I'm saying, I was definitely risk assessed even at a young age. You know what I'm saying? At a young age, I'm like, I wasn't going to take the risk of getting rejected. I wasn't going to take the risk of getting a no, or boy, get out of my face. I wasn't finna do that. You know what I'm saying? So
you opening up a whole nother thing. And Fahim said, grind until what you want start chasing you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But George, that's a very good point. And so whereas me, I didn't care of the rejection, right? I didn't like it, but I'm like, yo, I'm a still go, right? And that's interesting, man, that you say that. And I respect you for saying that, right? Because that's not something that a lot of men would say. That I wasn't going after this because I didn't want to get rejected, right?
Yep.
But
taking that chance, buddy.
Wow, that's powerful.
But George, you also said something too. I think is important to point out is that locker room conversation where you're vulnerable enough to say, "Hey, man, I got rejected." But I think when we move that up a couple notches, how does money align with that too? Because one of the things we do real well is our ego is tied to our finances.
Absolutely.
And I know a lot of, including myself, there's like, man, I'm not about you. You learn, you don't tell people how much money you make. Like you don't share that. So it's like, I can't share my financial struggles. I can't share my financial wins. It's like, who do you talk to? Oh, well, if you're struggling with money, you just hold on to that to yourself. You don't say nothing to anybody until it is public and you're bankrupt or with all those all those things that come with that. But I think it's a part of, again, when we talk about the socialization of boys, is that this idea of that you can't talk about the things you struggle with, because if you talk about them, there's going to be somebody or something that's going to be said that will say to you that you're not a man. So, I think that when we talk about these common things that are risk factors or that shine a light
number
on
one,
this number one would be money.
Okay.
Let me talk. I want to talk about that specifically. And I want to talk about that because it's absolutely true. And I'm talking from personal perspective, but I know that it's widespread. And I'm not talking about something that happened 5 years ago. I moved some money around the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Found myself in a bind. And no. It gets better.
Come on.
And I had to go to that man right there. And listen. I trust Shon with my life. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I trust that man with my life. And he will tell you that having to go to him, you know what I'm saying, to get me right, to do what I needed to do at the time, it was brutal. Me and Shon done been through hell and high water, personally, professionally, emotion, in every lee that there could possibly be. And I know, listen to me, I'm saying this to the world because I don't care. Like, I know that if anybody got my best interest at heart, it's the man sitting in the middle of the screen right now. And still, as a man with a family and a career in a business, I had to humble and drag myself to just say to him, hey, bro, I didn't mess something up.
Yeah.
Shon has never once in the, 10, 15 years we've been tight, he's never made me feel less than. Yeah. Never. And listen, we didn't saw each other at our darkest, at our lowest. You understand what I'm saying? And he's never once demeaned me, judged, any of those things. And still, as a man, because of my conditioning,
yep,
knowing that, like, he embarrassed than I am now because I'm saying it out loud. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. Knowing that he ain't gonna never say nothing, knowing that I ain't gonna never have to hear about it, knowing that he ain't gonna never throw it in my face. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that the next day we gonna be hanging out like ain't nothing happened, and still, as a man, it was rough as hell. I can't say it no other way. Just to be able to say, hey, bro, I messed this up. I need you to help me out.
Yeah.
So when we talk about men not confronting and talking about money, that stuff is real. He's never done anything in the entirety. I know I'm beating a dead horse, but I'm trying to make a point here. He's never done anything in the entirety of our relationship to make me feel less than a man. When I was clowning, when I was messing up, when I was making wrong moves or silly moves or unwise moves and stuff like that, we will hash it out. We'll talk it through. He gonna hold me accountable. I'm gonna hold him accountable. That's what we do. And still, when I needed help, it was rough. I'm talking about brutal. Like, I'm talking about hard. I'm talking about like losing sleep to be able to go to my best friend on earth and say, hey, man, this is what's what, and this is what I need. In some kind of way, myself included, but men, because if you think you're gonna get past, if you're gonna think you're gonna get through life on this earth without help and without assistance and without somebody reaching out, without reaching out to somebody that you trust and that you love, if you think you're gonna do that, you are deceived and you are sadly mistaken. I'm talking to men. So some kind of way, we have to be able to break that and be vulnerable and be transparent. Now, I didn't go on Facebook and say, hey, I need, you know what I'm saying, to the world, but you definitely need to surround yourself or have yourself around people that you can reach out to and be, whatever we talking about. We talking about money right now, but like whatever, like men go through stuff too. And sometimes those crosses be too heavy to bear by yourself. But we'll do it because we're supposed to be the provider. We're supposed to be the protector. We're supposed to just have it. Being vulnerable and being transparent, I don't know about y'all, but it was taught to me, and nobody said it directly, but it was definitely taught to me that that's weakness. And men don't do that. Men don't discuss their emotions. Men don't discuss their feelings. Men don't, when they having a bad day. You understand what I'm saying? When you're having a bad day, when you got money problems, or when you have relationship problems, or all these, you don't talk to nobody about that. You figure it out. That's how I was directly and indirectly taught. I know I'm not alone. But what do you do with that? Because the same range of emotions that women have, we have too. We get sad. We get frustrated. We get broken. We feel taken for granted, used, abused. In some kind of way, as men, we have to provide safe spaces for each other where we can do what I had to do. And then the next day, it's like nothing ever happened. I would have been devastated if I went over there and he'd done something to make me feel like, okay, I'm gonna have to cool it for a couple of weeks until I get this right with him, because, you know what I'm saying, I didn't messed up that relationship. The relationship did not change. If anything, it enhanced it more. And we can't get no tighter. You know what I'm saying? But it enhanced it more because to me now, bro got me. And fellas, you better have a brother that got you, regardless of how much you mess up or how much you drop the ball on a situation or how ugly it looks. You gotta have you a brother that got you. It's super, super important. And that probably was the longest rant that I ever did here, but I'm gonna stop there. But like we gotta talk. We have to talk. We have to open up. And you gotta be honest about who you are. You don't grow if you're not honest about who you are in the first place. People wake up with masks every single day and they just walk, you know what I'm saying, and operate, interact, and engage, not being a genuine, authentic self because they've been taught that your value is in how, and this is very general, how strong you are. We ain't strong all the time. As a man, you're not finna be strong all the time. You're not finna be strong emotionally. You're not finna be strong mentally. You're not finna be strong physically. You're not finna be strong in any of those ways all of the time. And that's when you need somebody to lean on. That's when you need a listening ear or a shoulder to cry on, or just somebody to say, bro, it's gonna be okay. And if you don't have that, things in this life are gonna be a lot rougher than they need to be. A lot rougher than they need to be, than they have to be. You got to set that pride and that ego to the side, fellas. You got to set that pride and that ego to the side. Iron sharpens iron. In layman's terms, men help other men because we don't know everything, right? Your perspective ain't the only perspective. And many times your perspective ain't the correct perspective. You just doing what you know to do because we creatures of habit, right? You doing what you've been doing. You just doing what you saw daddy do. You doing what you saw granddaddy do. You doing what you saw uncle do. And maybe all of those things work for them, but that does not necessarily mean it's going to work for your life, your specific factors, your specific circumstances. That means it worked for them. Now you can take some things from them, alter it and adjust it to make it fit your life, but you can't mimic anybody else's life for yours. All of us are on our path, on our journey. And we hear things like what I'm about to say all the time, and a lot of us don't realize how powerful it is till we get older. Knowledge truly is power. Information truly is power, right? So you got to be open. I say this a lot. You got to be open to information. If what you're doing is not working for you, you have to do something else. I don't know. That seemed like the hardest concept for people because they'll just keep doing it and doing it and doing it over and over and over again, getting the same results and pissed at everybody, the world. I'm saying it one more time, and I promise I said I'm closing probably like 7 times. If what you're doing is not producing the results that you desire, you have to do something else. Stuff be so simple and we make it so complex and complicated. Do something else. I'm done. For real. Okay.
You want me to say something? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Cole, what's number 2?
I think he hit one.
Maybe I just need to get that off.
He hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, George, you executed. You did exactly what we're suggesting needs to be done. This reality is that you just illustrated for us the concept of removing manhood from things and moving into just human. I'm human. Man, listen, that's all we are. We're human, having human experiences, and that's really the connection. That it doesn't have to be our manhood doesn't have to be tied to all of these things. What we're asking for is the opportunity to visually be seen as a human.
So
that's it.
Listen, man.
So let me say this.
I talk to broken men every day. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Shon.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, man. From what you said, right, from the other perspective, just to help some people out there from the other perspective, right? When you are assigned with covering people and somebody becomes vulnerable to you, it's your responsibility to be mindful how you handle that.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because in those moments, you can destroy everything. Because if you don't handle that correctly, the person that's in front of you, if you destroy that, then that person can go. You don't know how they will respond. Now they're going to go and destroy everything that's in their path.
Absolutely.
And so because you didn't manage them correctly, and they like, oh, F that. I'll never become vulnerable. So now they go home and something happens, and now their spouse or their children are wondering, why are they responding that way? And it has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with what you did.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's important. It's important for you to handle and manage those relationships.
Yeah.
Right? Because I tell you, George, is that I handle people personally not the way I want to be handled, the way they want to, and the way they need to be handled.
So it's when we're talking about relationships, a recurring theme that I share with people in practice is because they'll tell me, well, I did this for them. Matter of fact, I had this conversation with the fathers Monday. And they're talking about significant others, and they like, well, I did this for her, and I did this for her, and I did for it. And so after I let them get it off and stuff like that, and I asked, what did she say she wanted? She said, I said, what did she say she wanted? And the things that she wanted was like none of the stuff they did. And so they were operating out of love. And this is not just romantic relationships, but this is any type of relationship. You have to love and handle people the way they want to be and need to be loved, not necessarily the way that you want to love them, because your idea and their idea does not have to match. It does not have to match. So what you're saying, Shon, is so true. You have to be able to handle people and interact people the way they need it, as opposed to the way you want to do. People say this all the time, and people probably gonna disagree even on this. How they be like, I don't change for nobody. I'm just gonna be who I am, regardless of the person. I operate the way that I operate, and that's gonna be ineffective because people don't receive the same way.
Yep.
Based on their life history, based on their struggles, based on their trauma, based on their ups, not just the bad stuff, but people receive different ways. So if you're not intentional enough about learning the people in your circle, in your sphere, you'll be doing a bunch of stuff that is great stuff, but it's not fulfilling for them. She said, in their love, you have to learn to interpret others. You have to learn the people that you deal with. Otherwise, you'll be doing stuff and then you'll be disgusted, like the men that was talking, telling me all the stuff that they did, which all the stuff they did was in general good, but it was ineffective because that's not the way that the receiving party receives.
Yep.
Good, George.
You have to learn your people. You know me well. So you knew, even if I would have came over and you would have been that day, if I would have came over there and you would have been joking the wrong way, you knew I would have went and disappeared for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But you was intentional about learning me because you value the relationship. We have to value the relationship to learn the other party and not just be doing what you want to do. It's super, super important to learn the other party that you're engaging, that you're interacting with, that you call yourself loving or caring for or being there for.
And let me say this, man, especially with men, right? You know what I mean? Because we talk about, and I can't speak on behalf of women because I don't know all of that. But let me just speak to the man part of it, is that if a man opens up to you, I don't care how close you are. If a man opens up to you, man, it took a lot. It took them a minute to get to that place. Best believe they contemplated for a very long time to feel safe, to be able to show their fears and what they're afraid of and how scared they are, not knowing how this is going to turn out. Right? Like, it's very, very difficult. And if you have a significant other and he is showing this exterior that's extremely hard, let me tell you something. Underneath that is somebody really, 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 and I can say it a million times, really, 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 really soft.
Yep.
Because they trying to keep you away from touching that. And they don't know, they're afraid if you tap into that, what may happen and who they may become as a result. Because the last time they did that, it changed their life. So now they're like, you will never get to that layer again. Never. You would never get to that layer again. And so it's easy for them to put that facade up. And this is the thing. That's why a lot of times they're stressed and they burnt out and they're angry. Know why? Because they're not their true authentic self, and they've become somebody who that is not authentically them. And so they're tired of wearing that mask. They're tired of being that person. They just want to be who they were created to be, but they can't because they're afraid of you tapping into who that person is. That's why I could flow the way I flow, because I became naked to my wife, to the world. People know everything.
Yeah,
they know that I struggled with porn. They know I filed bankruptcy. They know I had marital problems. They know, so you can't tell on me. You can't tell on me. And so I don't give testimonies of 80 years ago. I'm telling you what I struggled with last week. So you can't keep me prisoned to that. And so that's
ain't got
why
nothing on me.
You don't have anything on me. You don't have anything on me. There's nothing that you can say or go tell somebody that somebody walking the face of the earth don't know.
Yeah. You talk about it, Shon, in the DISC assessment you do, where you talk about a person's natural and they're adaptive. You know what I'm saying? Initially, we all just be out here. The slate be clean. Then this hurt happened. This disappointment happened. This trauma happened. And each time, your genuine, authentic self is altered to this protective. We've got these walls up, these barriers, and different things like that. And just depending on what a person been through, they'll get to that point where their exterior is just rough and hard and cold. And it's like they the most hardest person to love or to engage or to be around, you know what I'm saying, or different things like that. And that's really not the case at all. They just protective. They just protective, and it'll take somebody to chisel, you know what I'm saying, and get through there and just start pulling it down and different things like that. You know what I'm saying? But eventually you can get in there. You can get through there. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take somebody with some patience, probably somebody with a little skill and stuff like that. But I listen, from what I do, I can't honestly say people just want to walk around here being angry and cold and black-hearted and overprotective and super bunch of defense mechanisms. I don't think people want to do that. They just feel like they have to because life do.
Yep.
You know?
Yo, let me say something before Cole says something. I just caught on what Amy just said. Amy, I cannot stand you. Amy said, is Shon's beard mask off? I didn't really pay attention. I just caught on. Yes, Amy, my wife told me to take the mask off and let the grays come in. So I'm the Amy, I can't stand you. You just did that. That is funny. I just caught on. I can't stand you for that. But George, you are so right, man. You see what you did here, George?
He came.
He came. That's what I feel like I did.
No, you did.
No, brother. You didn't do that. You healed.
You did.
You healed.
You got Shon. You hit it on the head. Like a lot of this stuff. A lot of this stuff. You got to just put it out there so people can beat you to the point, because a lot of times we be trying to hide stuff that don't need to be hidden, right? You know what I'm saying? Like we be trying to hide stuff or be ashamed of stuff that when you put it out there, when you make people aware, that's when you get the help you need.
That's for real. And you know, and I speak to that, man, is that George, you know, and me personally, right? I just pick and choose with that safe environments, right? Yep. You know, where to do it. Right? I mean, yep. But I disarm my struggles. I disarm all of my struggles and insecurities and phobias by revealing it. Yeah. And having people hold me accountable. Because when I navigate it by myself and I'm in prison, all of my indiscretions or my fears or my phobias is beating me down by myself. It's like, see, I told you. And so I struggle by myself. So my thing is like, bruh, I refuse to allow you to keep me in prison. So I'm going to disarm you.
Yep.
I disarm you. And I disarm you by sharing it with those that are close and that will hold me accountable. I told my last point, I work out with a group every Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday. And we have these Apple Watches and we're supposed to share what our heart rate is. And so this morning, my son worked out with us, right? And I was getting tired and I wanted to stop. And he said to me, he said, Dad, just get 3 more, right? The time was right. He said, get 3 more. And so I got the 3 more. He left to go to school. So when he left, I kept on exercising. And when I was getting tired, all I kept hearing my son say, Dad, get 3 more. So I kept going. But it didn't stop there. When the call was over, I had to be honest to the men on that call because I saw where their heart rates were up and they were working extremely hard. And I had to be honest to them and take my mask off. I said, bro, my heart rate didn't break 155. And I was jogging. Yeah. I was looking like I was going extremely hard, but I wasn't. And remember those times when you was asking us and you wanted us to do extra if we use a certain heart rate or get to a certain heart rate? They say, yeah. I said, you know what? I was lying. I wasn't reaching that heart rate, but I didn't want to do more. And so my thing was, I'm like, listen, I don't want to be a public success. I don't want them thinking that I'm working hard over here, but I'm here in my own house and I'm jogging, going through the motions. Yeah. So I'm like, no, I'm not. When it comes to my exercises, no, I wasn't working hard and my heart rate was only at 130, even though I told you 170. I lied. Because I don't want to walk around and be a fraud, man.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it's only a workout and nobody's going to hurt. I'm losing weight. But no, it's about leveling up in every area of your life.
Every single one.
Yeah.
If there's an opportunity in an area of your life to be better, you should take the opportunity. If there is an area in your life where you get the opportunity to grow, to cultivate, to develop, to mature, every single one, you should take it.
Yep.
Why be content with being mediocre? Why be okay with being basic? Why be okay with being stuck and stagnant when there's better right in your grasp and right in your reach? if you just use some intention and give some attention, why just be okay? If there's an area in your life and an opportunity to be better, be better.
I think you dropped the mic. Cole, you can close us out.
Are we closing out with a legit or not legit?
No. Cole closes out.
Because I got a legit or not legit.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Because as I'm listening, I gotta say, man, this is heavy. But it got me to thinking of some things that I don't often tell people. So I feel like now is the time to being vulnerable and just sharing with the audience as a legit or not legit. So I might as well just hit everybody with this. And so y'all could tell me if this is legit or not legit, and we could just move from there. Is it legit or not legit for a man to, sit on the toilet to urinate?
Cole just
that's something I do sometimes.
Cole spit on my lip.
It's something I do sometimes. Sometimes I don't want to stand up, so I sit down. And I just want to know if that's legit.
Well, let me ask you this. Before I answer, is this after? Listen, let me ask this, Cole, because I need some clarity.
Yo, I'm not messing with you, man.
This is a good question. I need some clarity. Is this after like a long, hard day of work? Is this after like a shift or something like that? Or is this like right when you wake up in the morning?
This is late at night when you don't want to wake nobody up and you just, it's quiet, you by yourself.
Said just don't splash. Yo, shit. Said just don't splash.
Listen, man. I appreciate the disclaimer. It's a long day. You've been working, tired. Winding down for the day. But I'm gonna have to know legit this one, Cole. I'm not gonna be able to be okay with it. I apologize, Shon. What you think?
I told my son to get up. I called him. His sisters ratted him out. His sisters ratted him out. I said, son. Hey, look at my face, George. Son. Son. Listen, and don't pull your pants all the way down to use the urinal.
I'm working on that with my youngest boy right now. Like, because we be in a restaurant and he free bird.
Yo,
we be in a restaurant, he free bird. I'm like, bro, man, get them up, man. Like, no, you don't even have to pull below the cheeks.
Cannot be revealed.
Yeah.
Cheeks cannot be revealed. Hey, Cole, listen, I'm with you, and I ain't tripping. I'm not saying I never did it, but I'm just saying, all right, not legit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to.
Oh, I love you, man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't. I tried, like even when you was talking about like the work day, and I try to think of any reason, but I'm gonna have to thumbs down it. I'm sorry, I just can't.
Oh man. Oh my God. I love you guys, man.
I love y'all, man.
Love you too, bro, man.
Hey, see y'all next week, man. Let's make it happen.